few lessons for 2025 which will make it easy for you to prepare yourself. You could be just finishing college and entering the workforce. You could be already in the workforce and looking forward to planning your life, irrespective of which stage of your life that you are in. These are the lessons which will be serving you very, very well. Number one, learn from rejections. Rejection is not easy. We don't want to lose a game, even if it is a small game. We hate losing it. We don't want people to say no to us, irrespective of who it is, what kind of a situation it is. We don't like it even when we lose small arguments. And that's what we are, irrespective of who it is, what it is. Even in the smallest of arguments, even with family members, we hate losing it. And therefore, when life gives you bigger rejections, like failing in an examination, failing to secure that admission into higher studies, failing to get that job in a prestigious company that you have been applying and eyeing for, it can be devastating. But that is the first lesson life teaches you. Accept rejections and move on. Rejections, failures are going to be part of life. And if you have never been rejected, it is going to be even more devastating when rejection happens, and it will happen at some time or the other. Your promotion may be rejected, your increment may be rejected, and you may not be able to secure exactly what you wanted. And these rejections, at whatever level, whatever scale they happen, can hit you very, very hard unless you are mentally prepared to take them on. So, lesson number one, think about a time when you were rejected. Think about an argument that you have lost. Think about a game that you lost. Think about an application which didn't move forward. Think about a failure that you have had, and look at all of these and how you reacted, how your mental frame of mind was at that point in time, and prepare yourself and look at what is it that you can learn from these rejections, because rejection is going to be part of life. Lesson number two in preparing yourself for future, especially in 2025, is your ability to communicate well. A lot of times people misunderstand when I say you need to communicate well as you need to communicate in English. No, English is a language. You can learn the language very fast. The ability to speak is very different from the ability to communicate is very different from ability to communicate in English. In English is easy. Once you get the language, it will flow. That's not the problem. The problem with most of the people is the ability to communicate itself. Even in their own language, I've seen people struggling to communicate. I've seen people struggling to speak very well because they lack the clarity of thought. They don't know the ABC. When I say ABC, they don't know audience whom they are talking to. They don't know that well. They don't know the body, what exactly they want to speak. And C, they don't have the clarity with which they need to speak. ABC of the communication, whom you are speaking to, what is it that you need to speak to, how exactly, with which clarity you need to speak to. All of these things are missing in the communication, and that has nothing to do with English. And therefore, you need to learn the skill of communication. One of the simplest way of communicating, one of the simplest way of learning to communicate well is by writing. A lot of people take or taken aback when I say this, and they don't really do this very well. But if you train yourself to write down your thoughts, then you will be able to train your mind to speak very well. The ability to write down is not easy. Your thoughts race forward in your mind, but your pen writes very, very slowly. And I would advise you to take a pen and paper in the traditional manner, not type very fast, and write down your thoughts one thought at a time. When you write down your thoughts, you are able to clarify it much better, and that clarity to yourself in terms of what exactly you want to say. Who is the person? What is the context? What is the clarity that you need to bring in? What is your point of view that you are going to say? When you are able to think about all of this, your thought process becomes better. Your structuring of the thought process becomes better. You will be able to communicate better. So the second idea that I want you to think about very, very seriously is about communicating better, and as an instrument to communicate better, writing down your thoughts. The third point that I want you to think about in 2025 is you may be spending money, you may be earning and spending on all kinds of things. You may be spending on your bike, you may be spending on your car, you may be spending on parties, you may be spending on food and going out and parties and movies. All of this at some point in time are absolutely required. But my question to you is, are you spending on yourself? Are you spending on your education? Are you spending on improving yourself as a person? If you're not doing this, you need to think very, very seriously. Put yourself first. Invest in yourself before you do anything else. A lot of times people get confused when I say this. A lot of times say that, I'm already working. So why should I invest in my education anymore? Absolutely, my friend, you are going to be very, very wrong if you are also thinking like this. In the era of artificial intelligence, in the era of continuous upgradation where everybody is upgrading themselves, if you don't upgrade yourself, you are going to be left far, far behind. So if you're earning, even if you're not earning, spend on yourself, spend on the books that you need to learn, spend on the courses that you need to learn, spend on the kind of mentor that you need to seek out and learn from that person, spend on upgrading yourself, spend on becoming the person that you need to be 1 year down the line, 10 years down the line, 5 years down the line, so that your journey can start from today towards that point. I'm sure you have a large goal. I'm sure you have a big ambition in your life, but how do you move from today where you are to that big ambition? You need to think about that. And that is where upgrading yourself, that is where investing yourself, that is where putting yourself first comes in. Think about it. Take a pen and paper, note down what are the things that you need to learn professionally, personally, from your hobby point of view. What are the things that you need to invest in yourself? Maybe you want to take some courses. Maybe you need to enroll in part-time university. Maybe you need to seek out some mentor from whom you can learn some critical skills. But whatever it is, what is it that you want to learn? Note it down. Have a plan of action. Look at spending on yourself first. Point four, managing your finances. It's a simple 50-30-20 rule. And I want to put a twist into that rule. 50%, if you're earning 100 rupees, the 50 rupees should go towards the necessary, absolutely important expenses, paying your rent, paying your electricity, paying your water bill, paying your, if you're owning a property, municipality taxes, paying for that health insurance, paying for that life insurance, paying for that petrol for travel to office and back. So all of that constitute not more than 50%, but 50% will and should go towards that. Then comes the 30% where you fulfill your wants. You have to, you want to go to a movie, you want to go to some place for enjoyment, you want to buy some food, all of that will come in the next 30%. And the last 20% is all about investments. But flip the whole thing, start with investments. Put aside the 20 rupees, say that this 20 is not mine, I'm going to remove this and invest that first, and then look at the 50%, which goes towards all the necessary expenses, and start living basis the 30, whatever that amount left after taking care of your investments, after taking care of your necessities, whatever is left, spend that in terms of your enjoyment. When you structure your finances like this, your finances will get easily stretchable. You don't have to worry about, oh, this is already 25th, I don't have money in my pocket kind of syndrome won't come. And you don't have to worry about month end. Point number five, in terms of taking action, a lot of people plan, define the plan, and look at perfect moment to start. Whether it is starting to invest, whether it is starting to exercise, whether it is starting to do anything, they wait for the perfect moment. They tell themselves and to other people in the family, friends, and so on that, today is not, I'm not feeling like doing anything. I'll start it tomorrow. I'll start when this condition occurs, when this gets over, when I meet this person, when I become this, when I become this age, when I become this wealthy. Everything is in the future and everything is in work in plans, and never ever action takes place. Don't be that person. If you want to start something, start now. Don't overthink, start now. Consistency is a key. For example, there are a lot of people when I tell them to read books, they say that no, I don't have time. I asked them, what kind of time you're talking about? No, book reading will take 1 hour, 2 hours a day. I don't have that kind of time. No, it doesn't have to be like that. You can read books for 5 minutes a day. That's all that it takes. If you can carve out 5 minutes, if you are traveling and if your office is, let's say, half an hour away, you are traveling by bus or traveling by auto, all it takes is 5 minutes. You keep your book with you and spend 5 minutes or 10 minutes on that book. If you're able to spend the same 5 minutes, 10 minutes on your commute back, if you're able to catch that book, for example, if you have a Kindle or if you have a EPUB version on your mobile, and whenever you are waiting for something to happen, when you are even in the office after lunch, if you can spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you can read the book. That's all that it takes. And reading the book for 5 minutes is only one example. That example goes well for every single other thing. For exercise, even if you're able to spend 10 minutes on the exercise, it's much better than not doing that exercise, waiting for that half an hour window to happen every single day. So many things in life don't have to be happening at the perfect moment. Many things in life don't have to have a large window of time. They don't have to be like that. You can spend small windows over a period of time. You can read 2 pages a book every single day, and that accumulates into a complete book of 200 pages in about 20 days. And without even thinking about it, you have finished one book and you are on your way to read another book. Without even thinking about it, if you spend 10 minutes a day exercising, you are well on your way to take care of your body compared to somebody else who hasn't even started. Many things are like this in your life, whether you want to take a hobby, whether you want to take and make a habit as a practice in your life, all of that it takes is consistent application of yourself for very little time. You may want to indulge in a hobby, you may want to learn singing, you may want to learn speaking, you may want to improve your communication skills, you may want to improve your writing skills, you may want to learn a particular computer course. All of that you don't have to wait for a 2 hour window to happen every single day. All of this can be done with 5 minutes, 10 minutes, taken, scrapped together from somewhere, and you will have the ability to scrap it together from somewhere. All you need to have, however, is the mental application, the readiness that, okay, I'm going to read this, I'm going to improve myself, I'm going to apply myself for this 5 minutes, 10 minutes every day, whenever I can, without waiting for the perfect moment to happen, and do it consistently over a period of time. So, consistency is key. You will be able to find the time and you will be able to become the better version of yourself. The next point that we're going to talk about is about your retirement. You may be around 25, you're listening to this YouTube video, you are going to be laughing when I say plan for your retirement. You may be saying, what retirement? Yeah, I'm just 25, I've just started working. What retirement will I be thinking about? But the point is, if you don't think about retirement early in your life, you will not be able to be planning for it. We all know that inflation eats into our money. We all know that as time increases, our ability to earn also increases, but the cost of life is also increasing, and somewhere something has to give. We all know that when we retire and when we are out of this workforce, we will be old, we will need medical care. We have seen our parents going through that phase. We know that we have a rough idea of where we want to live, small city, big city, and the cost of living in that place. All of that also is going to happen. And we all know that a lot of things when we retire is going to be an unknown. What kind of a shape of health that we will be in, what kind of a requirement of expenses we will have, all of these are completely unknown. And in an unknown place, the best thing is to plan. So, my sincere advice to you is to start thinking about, okay, when I'm going to be 58, 60, when I retire, when I don't work, when I don't get that steady stream of income anymore, what is it that I need to live my life? What is it that I need in terms of money? And what is it that I should start contributing towards it right from today? When you start thinking like that, and especially that thought has to be there if you are closer to 40 than you are to 25, but that thought will do miracles for you. The thought will ensure that you save some money every single month aside. You will put that money aside, you will save it, and that you will say that money is not for me now, that money is for my future version when I retire. And that thinking, that putting aside, that is going to help you enormously when you come to the age of 58, in the age of 60, when you actually retire. So think about it, start planning, put money aside right from today, even if you're not close to anywhere close to that retirement age. It's okay. Think about it. Put the money aside. When you take all of these habits together, when you think of how to grow personally, how to ensure that you be consistent in whatever you are doing, how to take decisions quickly, how to put money aside, not for immediate consumption, but for a future consumption. When you're able to take care of all of these small changes that I'm talking about, your 2025, not only 2025, the next coming years are also going to be very, very bright for you. Wishing you all the very best. See you in our next episode.